Okay, if you see my screen, I have the folder JavaScript, Node.js, react.js, and the hello world inside the hello world. So I'll go inside the hello world. I'll go to cd react.js and then hello world. And if I do npm start, I can I'll see my website, which is by default installed through the React, and then we'll try to modify it to whatever we want to. So let's wait for a few seconds. Okay. Okay, let's give a few seconds to get it started. So till it gets started, just let me tell you. Okay, it started. Let me start it in the browser. So one of the things which we have to do is we have to install different packages to help us to do many things in the React. So one of the package which we will install is the Bootstrap. Bootstrap is specifically used for looks of the website. So today and few days from today, we will be doing React Bootstrap to see how our website looks in different cases, in different situations. So let's see what's happening. Okay, it is started. Okay, so this is the default page. So before I install the React Bootstrap, I will remove this logo. I will make it just hello world here on this page. So I'll go to this folder. I'll go to hello world folder, and we have the different folders inside the hello world. One of the folder is node modules, another folder is public, another folder is source, and we have different files in this folder. Right now we are only concerned with the source folder. We are not concerned with other folders. So let's go into the source folder, and inside the source folder we have the app.js. We have to open the app.js, and inside the app.js I will delete this header part. I'll delete the header part, and I'll delete this also. Class name, I'll delete app.css import statement, I'll delete logo import statement, and then here I'll only say hello world. So when I change this to hello world, and if I see the website, so you will see the hello world is given here, is shown here. So just we removed everything and we put only the hello world here. Now since I deleted app.css, I don't want this file. I'll delete this file also. I'll delete app.test.js also. We don't need it now. I'll delete logo.svg, and I'll delete setup test.js. Okay, so I deleted few files from this source folder because those are not needed. Now what I will do, I will install the React Bootstrap, and to install it I will just go here in the terminal. I'll do Ctrl+C to come out from this npm start. So I'm right now inside the hello world. hello world folder. Okay, now to install the React Bootstrap, I will run this command and I will put that command here, npm install React Bootstrap and the Bootstrap. So we have to install the Bootstrap and we have to install the React Bootstrap, both the applications. So I'll use this. I will put it in the chat also, so you can copy if you want. And let's put it in the readme.txt also. So once I run this command, the React Bootstrap and Bootstrap will be installed in my Hello World project. So let's do this, npm install React Bootstrap and Bootstrap. So till it gets installed, let's see some different things. We'll go to React Bootstrap website. Let's go to the Bootstrap website. So this is the website getbootstrap.com for the Bootstrap, and current version is 4.5. And then I will go inside the examples. So if you go to examples, there are different templates given. One is album, pricing, checkout, product, cover, carousel. These are the different templates given. Which we can build using the Bootstrap. So one of the template. Okay, so I opened one of the template. Now, when you build an HTML page, you build this everything in HTML. This is the top header, then this part is there, then we have different thumbnails, and then we have the footer. But in React, you have to divide this page into different small components. For example, I can make this top part. Let me, audio is not clear. Okay, let me speak a little louder. So, can you hear me now? I'm speaking a little louder. Okay, so let me speak a little louder. So I will, let me start the drawing. So in React, we define this top header in one separate file. That file is called component. So we have one header component, and then we define this part as a separate component. And when I go down, I have, let me erase the drawing so that I can. So regarding thumbnail, I will put this thumbnail part inside one component, and since other thumbnail are repeating, we don't need to put other in a separate file. We'll just copy this file and then we'll call separately for each thumbnail. So if we have to repeat something, we will not create file for that. We will use the already defined file. But if we want to define new things, we will put it in the file, and that is called component. Okay. I'll explain it again. So since we see the top header, we will put it in one file. It is called header component. Then this part is called Jumbotron. So I will put this album example in Jumbotron component. And then see, we have many thumbnails. So we don't have to put all thumbnail part in different file. We will create only one component, first one, which is this part, and then this all will be called with the same file name or with the same component. So we don't have to create three separate component for these three thumbnails. We will build only this one part, and this will be called again with the same file name or same component. So we will see this example today, how we are building this example in our React app. There is one more utility which will help us to do this, and that utility is called HTML to JSX. So whatever we do in the React is the JSX. It is called JSX. So when in the olden days we use only HTML, CSS or JS file, right now whatever we do in React, it is called JSX. So I will just use this utility which will help us to build the JSX for us. Okay, let's go to this one. So I see that Bootstrap is installed and React Bootstrap is also installed. So now I'll run npm start again. Okay, so I started npm start. So here is my web page, hello world. Now I will build this hello world to the looks similar to this template. So that is the task for today, how to create different components in the React and use the React Bootstrap in our application. So to use the React Bootstrap in our application, first step is open the index.js file. Inside the index.js file, I will write one line, and that line is called, I will import one Bootstrap CSS file, and that file is located inside Bootstrap dist CSS bootstrap.min.css. When I install the Bootstrap, this file is automatically created inside the node modules folder, and I can use that file. So first statement is we have to put this line in the index.js. So I will write down here, open index.js file and add following statement. So we have to put this line in the index.js file. Now we have to define the components which we will be building for our application. So what are the components I will be building? One is this header part, second is this jumbotron part, third is this thumbnail, and fourth is this footer. So I need 4 components for this web page. So let me create the 4 components in my application. So I'll right click the source file, create a new file. First file I will name it as header.js. I can name it as JS also, or I can name it JSX also. So let's name it as JSX. So I created header.jsx as first file. Second file which I will create is jumbotron. That big part which I showed you is jumbotron.jsx. And then I will create a new file called as, I can name it as content or row, because it is a kind of row, or I can name something maybe meaningful. Maybe I can say content
Card.
Cart, right, cart. Good. Who said this?
Anupam told you.
Okay, yeah, cart. Cart looks much better.
Yeah,
Cart.jsx. And next one is footer.jsx. So I created 4 files which are called 4 components in the React. So let's open the header one and I will create a component. So how to create a component in React? So first I have to import the React. In first line should be the import the React. I will say import React from React library. So this is the name which we are importing. From where we are importing? From the React library we are importing. Second line which I will say, I will write the constant and I will name it something. For example, I will say header is equal to, and I will create arrow function here like this. This is the way which we create a, let's say, variable. This is nothing but the component, and then I export this component. I'll say export default header. And here inside this curly braces, I will say return, and inside the return I will put some. Which content will put? I'll show you. Right now I'll just put div header. So I'm not doing anything. I'm just putting header, a simple text, and in this component. So how to create a component? First line should be this import React. Then we create a variable, and it is nothing but a function. And this is called the header. And we return something. What we return? We return an HTML tag. So this is the JSX language where we write the HTML tag inside JavaScript. So this is something basically JavaScript, and we are putting HTML tag inside the JavaScript. This is manipulated or rendered or compiled by React because we imported the React part here. If we don't import this React, then it will not understand what it means. Since we put it React here, it is able to understand what it exactly means. So I created one component, and I have to call this component inside my app.js. So I will open the app.js and I will call this header component. So how to call the header component? I will say import header from ./header. Here it is optional to put as a JSX, that is full extension, or I can remove this full extension. I will say only header. Now, how to use this header? Generally, all the HTML tags are lowercase. If you see div is lowercase, I can call h1 as lowercase. Okay, all HTML tags should be lowercase whenever you write the React. And whenever you write your own component, that is this header component, it should be in the capital letter. You cannot make this as a small letter. You have to make this component as a capital letter. And when I want to call this component, I will just type here header, and I'll close the header tag. So I have to open this header tag and I have to close this header tag. Now let's see how the page looks like. So you will see header is here because my header component has a text of header. Now let's do one more so you will get better idea of what we are doing. So let's go to the Jumbotron, and here I'll do same thing, import React from React, and then I'll create the constant, and here I'll name the component as Jumbotron, and I'll export this component by export default Jumbotron.
Okay, so Manish, I have one question here.
Yeah, ask.
So is it mandatory to declare the constant variable, or or we can use this without declaring variable here? Like just we can create arrow function that it will work.
So if you go to this app.js, you have to use like this app function like this, but since you want to only use arrow function, then if I put this like this, then I have to just do, I have to put like this. So I have to export this default, this function, then it will work. But if I am exporting in a separate line, I need the name which I want to export. Otherwise, I can directly take this and export it here.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so let's go to Jumbotron, and then I'll return I'll say something like Jumbotron. So if you see, it is not auto beautifying itself. So I will do that part also, so that it should automatically beautify. It should automatically go to second line and it should beautify itself. That is a different part, not a part of this task, but I will do that in some time. So right now I just created a Jumbotron and I will import this component inside my app.js. How to import? I'll say import Jumbotron from Jumbotron. So we have to say dot slash. Don't forget to put dot slash. And here it is optional. I can put JSX or I can skip that. All JS and JSX is automatically assumed. Okay, let's go. And now I will put this Jumbotron below my header file. Next will be next, if we see what we have to include is, so we have Jumbotron, we have header, and next we have to say this thumbnail part and the footer part. So let's go into the code and add two more. So let's go into the footer, import react from react constant footer is equal to, I can copy paste, but I want to show you that I'm writing and you should remember these things. But when you do practically, you have to do one and then you have to copy paste. I'm doing again and again so that you can remember things. So here I will create div tag, and here I will say footer. Okay, last we'll go into the card, and I'll say import react from react constant card is equal to an arrow function, and I'll say return div card, and I'll export default card. So let me call this card and footer in my app.js. I'll say import card from card, import footer from footer, and I'll just put this card after the Jumbotron. I'll repeat it multiple times since you see multiple thumbnails, but after a few minutes. And I'll do footer here. So let's see how the application looks like. So we have header, Jumbotron, card, and footer. Now I'll open this inside I'll see the view source and I'll take the exact code and I'll put that. Okay. So JSX is not compulsory. We can use JS also. But since when I do React, I prefer to use JSX. It's my preference, but you can use JSX. Sorry, I got cup. So you can use JS also or JSX also. Okay, so now what I'll do, I will take the navbar header. So if you see header is here from this part till this header part. So I'll copy this and I'll put it in this HTML so that I can get the JSX part, and here I got JSX part. So I'll copy this JSX part and I will paste it in my header file. So I'll replace this div part with the JSX. Now what is the difference between the HTML and the JSX which we got? So here in the JSX, we replace the class with the class name. And there are few more changes which we will see, but right now just remember what change we did here. We have the class name. Yeah, it is. Now I'll answer the question which he is asking. So class is changed to the class name because class is the keyword for the JavaScript, and so we cannot use class inside this. So we have to use class name. So one question is, in the import, we write one as a JSX file, one as a JS file, it is fine. So if we have card.js and header.jsx, we can use in app.js. In app.js, it doesn't matter, it takes JS file also, it takes JSX file also. Okay, so let's complete this header file. We get little warnings here. Try to ignore this warning right now. We will see what exactly each warning is and how to fix it. So let's see now how the page looks. So you will see the header has come appropriately to its proper place. Now all other part are inside the main. That is the card and Jumbotron are inside the main. So I will take this HTML tag and I will open my app.js. So before Jumbotron, I will use this main, which we see in the HTML part. Let's go again to the HTML. So we all have Jumbotron part here, and we have the card part here, and both are inside this main tag. Okay, so let's take this section. Okay, let's take this section and just put it in the Jumbotron, because this section is a part of Jumbotron. So you have to put it in the Jumbotron, but before putting in Jumbotron, we have to convert into JSX. So I will put it here, and we will get the JSX file. Let's put this JSX part inside my Jumbotron. Okay, so I put that here in the Jumbotron. Let's see how it looks in our web page. So you will see this Jumbotron is here. This part is Jumbotron. Now next thing is the card and footer. So let's copy the card part and footer part. So if you see the card part, we have first div tag, then we have the container, then we have the row, and then all the card are repeated. This is one, this is colMD4 second, then third, and we have like this, we have repetition of the thumbnail card. So first we will take these three parts and put it inside my app.js. So let's go to app.js. So before the card, I will put this three line. One div, second div, third div. Only thing which I have to change is the class to class name, because class will not work. Since we created three div, we have to close all the three div after this card. 1, 2, and 3. Since we open 3 div, we have to close 3 div here, and all come inside the main, and then there is a footer. So let's save this, and now let's go again to the HTML part. Now we have to take this part and put it inside the card. So I'll copy this and I'll put it inside the HTML, and I'll get the JSX for it. So I'll copy this JSX and I will put that in the card.jsx. Okay, so let's close this card and let's see how our web page looks like. So you will see right now one card is there. So we have the one card here, and let's add more card now. So to add more card, I'll just copy this card part and paste it multiple times. Okay, now we'll see how the page looks. Somehow this thumbnail is going this side, but we can fix it also. Maybe some tag or something is missing here, so we can fix that also. Yeah, something is missing, something is not good. Let's check. Okay, after I'll put the footer part, I'll see what is problem with this one. Okay, so let's put this one. Okay, let's add the footer and then we'll see what exactly is missing in them. Okay, let's go to footer and I'll take this footer part till here, copy it, put it inside the HTML, and then take the JSX part, that is this part, and we'll put it inside the footer. So I put it inside the footer, and also if I go to index.js, it is importing index.css, which we don't need it now. I'll remove that because we are using everything from the React Bootstrap. Now let's see how it looks, and then we'll see. Okay, so I have this content and I have footer also as needed, but somehow I see this is here, but here I don't see that thing. So something is missing. I feel that. I'm just looking at what part is missing, why we are not getting that.
I think container part is missing. That's why the space is coming.
Okay, container part is missing. Where is the container part? Which part you are saying?
Yes.
This part?
This part, because the entire card is coming in this container.
Okay.
For us, I think we haven't added it.
Okay, let's check that one.
Inside the card JSX.
So we have the class name container. Card should be outside, the container should be outside, and it is correctly there. So we have this one. Yeah, this looks correct to me.
Okay.
Card is colMD4, and here we have last name, container, and jumbotron. Okay, let's see why it's missing. Okay, so we have album, then class this, Okay, so if I see there in the source code, we don't have that div tag above the header. We don't have the div tag above the header. So let's first remove that. I don't know that is the reason, or let's first remove that. So to remove the div tag, we need some tag. So I'll just put an empty tag, and I'll put empty tag here. So we cannot leave everything inside without a main tag. So if we don't need div tag, I'll just make it an empty tag. Now let me check again. Okay, still that is solved, but still I have the gap. Okay, let's see. Okay, so we have some padding here in the Jumbotron, and whereas let's see here. Okay, so here we don't have we have padding top, padding bottom, and here we have different one, and here we have different one. So it is using from album.css. So maybe it's copying something from this album.css. Let's open this one. Okay, so let's copy this album.css also in our application. So I'll create a new file, album.css, and I'll put all the code there, and I'll call that inside my app.css. Let's check now. I added, but still not working. Still not working.
I think, Manish, this is the design issue. I think if you want, we can skip this, or we can focus on the React part if you want.
I got it. I got it. You're correct. We don't have to. We don't have to work on this. Yeah. So the main task for this is we can figure out. I can figure out
later stage.
Yeah, I can figure out that later where exactly I'm missing the tag or what this CSS is missing. The main task for today is that we have to see how to create the component, and that is what we are doing it. So this part we can I can check later where exactly I'm missing the tag or what happened. But what was the aim of this task? The aim was to build a template into separate component and call it into the app.js. So that is the main task for it, and that is what I achieved with this one. So let me repeat in a summarize what we did kind of thing. So day 2, we have to first put this bootstrap part in the index.js file, and then we have to create different components based on the template. And to create component, we use the following statement: import to create component. We have to use following code. So just to remind you how to create the component: react from react, and then I have to create the constant component name is equal to arrow function. Then I have to export default component name, and inside this arrow curly bracket I have to do return, and here I can write any HTML tag. Okay, and then once we create a component, we can call this component in another file or another component as, so we to call it like import component name from ComponentNameFile.js or JS. Okay, so this is how we call it. So the main task for today was to call the different component in my app.js and just place all here so that my website is completed. That is the main task for today, and that's what today's class is. So any questions you can ask. Internal CSS. Okay, that we will figure out what CSS is missing. That is not the part of this task was to see or fix the CSS issue, but I can see maybe in copying paste I might have missed some tag or something, and that
So
is
Manish,
what.
Manish, I have one question. Could you go above top of the app.js? Yes. So here you import the CSS, but you haven't written an object of the CSS. So is there a particular reason for it?
No, CSS we can call directly. No need to create object. Directly CSS should be called, and it is used in our file.